Meet Cyrene, the new Ice Remembrance support character coming in version 3.7. Today, we're going to discuss the way too early build guide for Cyrene, so you can prepare ahead of time, whether that be planning your Stellar Jade pulls or preparing relics and ornaments for her ahead of time. Now, right away you might wonder why Cyrene looks so familiar in her new adult form. Well, that's because her design is inspired by Alicia from Honkai 3rd Impact. But in terms of roles on the team, unlike Alicia, Cyrene is a supporting character for all the Chrysos heirs based on the current info we have for her now. And what is very interesting is that her buff and ability for each Chrysos heir is different and suited for each individual character, allowing for free range of team comps based on the current Chrysos heirs you currently have, which is very nice. This being her absolute best pro, but also being her absolute worst con. Being limited to Chrysos heirs is good with characters such as Castris, Phynon, and Hysolins, coming to mind right away. But once this current meta leaves, then trying to find a team to put Cyrene on will be difficult. So for her team options, let's now talk about what exactly she does. The biggest thing when it comes to Cyrene that currently many are complaining about that revolves around her quote-unquote energy or her unique energy mechanic. Much like previous characters with ultimates not needing energy, Cyrene falls into this group as well, as to activate your ultimate you need to have 24 recollection points. Right now, Cyrene has a few different opportunities to get recollection points. The first being when you enter battle, she will give all allies and memo sprites future, and whenever an ally or memo sprite with future performs an action, Cyrene gains 1 point of recollection, and in conjunction with that, whenever an ally summons a memo sprite, it gains future. Or after Cyrene herself takes action, she will then place future on all allies once again. So you can see there that it's very good. You are going to possibly run out of future, but with each action performed by Cyrene, all allies, including memo sprites, will gain the future buff. The only other way for Cyrene to gain stacks of future is for her to perform a basic attack or skill, with her skill creating a field which causes 1 instance of true damage after an ally deals damage. Once you activate the ultimate, Cyrene transforms a little and becomes her own memo sprite. And while she stays on the field, she will take reduced damage and her basic attack becomes enhanced. But the biggest thing with the ultimate activation is entering her memo sprite state along with all allies' ultimates being 100% charged, including ultimates such as Phynon, which is very nice, as well as Castris. The biggest aspect of Cyrene's kit is that she actually does to each Chrysos heir. The buff to each of them individually is the biggest part of her entire kit. I won't cover all of them, but I will talk about the 2 biggest ones, that being Phynon and Castris. For Phynon, his crit rate will be increased by 16%, and when he is in his Castellana form, normally when it ends and you run out of those turns, guess what? You're going to get a whole nother rotation of turns while in the Castellana state, which is very, very good. Cyrene allows him to have a full additional round of the turns in this state, which is just incredible. You are still going to be losing HP in this second round, or second go around, I guess, of the Castellana state. But keep in mind, with each action you perform while in that state, you are also going to be restoring HP. So it kind of cancels out. For Castris, she can now overflow her new bud up to 200%, with additional percent over 100, granting damage multiplier of 0.24% for 1 enemy, or 0.48% for 2 enemies. Again, keep in mind, everything here for the most part will remain the same, but some minor changes can happen, and I will go over them in future patches when they do inevitably get released. For the relics and ornaments though, I do believe that these will stay the same no matter the changes in the wording in her kit. The best relic set, in my opinion, would be the World Remaking Deliverer. While the crit rate boost isn't necessarily a huge bonus at the 2-piece state, the 4-piece ability is what really shines. For when you perform a basic or skill while your Memo Sprite is on the field, you will get an HP increase, but more importantly, you will provide a 15% damage increase to all allies until your next basic or skill. For the ornament set, the new Amphorius the Eternal Land set is going to be your go-to set, as while your Memo Sprite is on the field, you will be granting all allies an 8% speed boost. Having said that, the main stat you want to focus on isn't HP like other Remembrance characters, but your speed stat, as being able to move faster than all your other characters is the priority so that you can put future buff on all of them to generate recollection for Cyrene faster. Ideally, you want Cyrene to be the fastest character on your account. As with most high-speed characters, they're typically around 145 to the 160 mark. But if you can get higher rolls or re-rolls on speed stats on your relic sets for Cyrene, it's going to be perfect, and you are going to see a huge boost and increase to her overall capabilities. For the light cones, because Cyrene is of the Remembrance path, having plenty of viable options is difficult. Saying that though, 2 5-star options that really stand out, one obviously being her signature, is important because not only do you get a speed boost, but it is important to note that the speed boost is percent based, not a base stat boost, so it adds further value. But also the light cone causes increased damage taken by enemies and boosts ally crit damage. The other option which is helpful would be the Herda Shop light cone, as it also gives a percent increase to speed, and allies damage done will be increased as well. So in this case, not pulling for the signature, it's still going to be difficult, but because of a very good free-to-play 5-star option, it's going to be reduced in terms of, the overall capabilities and versatility of the light cone. So it is very nice to finally have a pretty good substitute option for a Remembrance character. I hope this quick little rundown has been helpful for you early Cyrene build guide planners. Like I said, before the biggest issue with Cyrene is the rate in which you earn her recollection energy. And while many people have made videos on whether she is good with the Chrysos errors or not, that particular character, it is still only in version 2 at the time of this recording, and many aspects of her kit can still change. Regardless, I still think that she is going to be a fantastic character for Chrysos era teams moving forward, being the main fixture for those teams moving into 4.0.